Hi, I'm Al. Welcome to CiNEMACHiNE. I'm here with Brandon.
Hello there.
And Ryan.
Howdy.
And this week, we're not watching what you asked us to watch because we don't do that anymore.
We didn't even ask. I didn't ask.
So there.
We made an announcement last week, and then we decided, you know what? A movie came out that we all wanted to watch. So we thought, why not review that? So we're here to do that. But first and foremost, we want to make sure that you all know how to get in touch with us. Ryan, you want to take the honors?
Yes, as always, Al. Easiest thing to do would be to drop down in the comments. Let us know what you think about the episode, what you think about the movie that we're reviewing. Then also, we invite you to check us out over on Instagram at CiNEMACHiNEPod. We're very active over there, so we'd love to chat with you about some movies. And also, hit that subscribe button on YouTube so you can be annoyed by us constantly.
Yeah. Most times you'll see Capecast pop up, but I'll we'll have other shows come up. So it's like 75 Capecast.
There's a lot going on.
One movie's coming out, so we should talk about it ad nauseum.
Do Ryan and Brandon have an addiction to underwear movies? Maybe.
Yeah, you get the same opinion every which way you possibly can. So, but at least they have special guests. I will say that. They have a lot of special guests. Tell them some of the guests you guys have had on lately.
We had Sean O'Connell from Cinema Blend.
There you go.
We had Scott McClellan from DC Films Squadcast. We just did a show with the comic movie marks. And actually tomorrow or the next day, we're going to... we have Eric Davis from Fandango talking some Snyder Cut. So
they decided, hey, we don't have enough of that stuff here. We're going to bring in other people to just kind of weigh out Al. So it's all
like,
good.
Al, you want to be on Capecast? Al was like, no, I'm good. So we had to find a third member of our tripod.
No, they said, Al, you want to be on? Ryan said, you want to be on Capecast? And Brandon was like, are you sure about that?
Brandon was like, no, he doesn't.
I'm going to make an executive order here. So, all right. So, anyway, we are going to be reviewing a movie on Netflix this week. The streaming service I continue to try to cancel, but they pull me back in. So, they still get my $13 a month as of right now. So, anyway, this week we watched the movie I Care a Lot. Release date February 19th, 2021. Director Jay Blakeson.
Jay Blakens.
Yeah.
Abe Lincoln.
Yes. So budget is unknown, but Brandon has so snarkily written 2 vape pens and 1 glass of milk. So yes, I agree with that. Box office, Netflix original, 427,697 worldwide. So
You always gotta take Brandon's box office and budget numbers with a grain of salt. These
85
days,
million
That's
for
what
that.
I read. That's what I read. 2 vape pens, 1 glass of milk. That's all I could find. So take it for what it's worth.
We appreciate Brandon putting all this information together, so thank you very much. Although I bet John Carpenter wished they had 85 million on They Live. But synopsis: a shady legal guardian lands in hot water when she tries to bilk a woman who has ties to a powerful gangster. I'm going to say first and foremost, this is going to be a spoiler review. I would highly suggest you go into this movie blind. That's my suggestion. So please pause this and go watch the movie and then come back. And we'll all be here to have our opinions, and you can, keyboard warrior.
Did all three of us watch it blind?
I knew partly what it was about. I'll put it that way.
Gotcha.
I didn't know the full Monty. So, Rosamund Pike, Peter Dinklage, Isa Gonzalez, Diane Weist, how do you say her name? Chris Messina, Isaiah Whitlock Jr., and Macon Blair. and that was what got me in the seat to watch this movie.
He's in it for like 5 minutes.
You mean in the couch?
So I like Macon Blair because of the movies Green Room and Blue Ruin, and then I Don't Feel at Home in This World Anymore. So I really like him, but I don't know. That's what got me here.
I didn't even know who it was. I just looked it up to see who it was. I was like, God, this would be something that Al latches to at this movie.
Well, I saw that he was in a movie, so for a split second, I thought maybe he directed it or wrote it or had something to do with it. But he was, just simply acting in it. So
Just in it.
yeah, so I think he's a good actor. Anyway, I like Rosamund Pike too. So let's get into it. Initial reviews here. Brandon, what was your initial review of I Care a Lot? And did you watch this with Melissa and Luna? Luna?
No.
No, okay.
Not with Luna.
Okay.
I watched it with Melissa. Yeah. Let's see. So yeah, I went into this blind. I don't even know if I saw the trailer for this. The same day that Ryan mentioned that we should review it or watch it,
Right.
Rusty also said we should review it. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to go in and just watch this and not even know what it is. I knew that
Rusty
Rosamund
supposed
Pike
to be on the show tonight?
Yeah.
I'm not feeling it, man.
He's not in the right headspace. So, Rusty, we hope you get into a better headspace.
Oh, drummers.
But yeah, so I did know that Rosamund Pike was in it, and I think I had heard probably through other podcasts that she was getting some buzz for this movie or something. Anyway, my thoughts. I liked it a lot.
This is such a Brandon typical Brandon. All right, quick thoughts. Now 5 minutes later. All right, so my thoughts.
Yep, I liked it. Ryan.
I also went in blind on this movie. The only thing I knew of it was I maybe saw a picture on Twitter, some kind of title art or something, and her name attached to it. But I had no idea it was a Netflix movie. I didn't know it was coming out soon or anything. And this movie was amazing.
Okay.
That's all I gotta say.
All right. So, night, everybody. It was a good time. So I enjoyed 2/3 of this movie a great deal. I saw this movie on Netflix, like most, if not all, and I was excited because the beginnings of the movie and everything, and we'll get into the different parts. But I was like, okay, all right, this has got me angry. That's a good sign. I'm having an emotional reaction to the movies.
Al likes to be angry.
Uncomfortable.
I love being angry. It's the only way the government allows me. So anyway, I felt like, okay, it's pulling me in emotionally, at least one emotion, and then so I was like into it, and then there was a part of it that just kind of lost me completely, and then I was back into it. So I was like, oh, okay, all right. So I have a few mixed emotions about this movie. Overall, I am glad I watched it. So let's get into the storyline of this movie. This movie touches on a sensitive spot for me because of my family owning assisted living homes and such, and seeing the struggles that the families go through. And that's what Rosamund Pike, she's really going in and becoming legal guardian of somebody without their, really just taking away their free will, and then selling off all their possessions, house, whatever, and pushing out their family and strong-arming people and whatnot. And it really is disgusting. And even she said, I don't like that character. She does not like this character. She enjoyed being in the movie and things. Yeah.
About her as a person. Yeah.
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 But how did you react to Marla Grayson, the character of Rosamund Pike? Did it pull any emotion out of you guys, Brandon?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, Ryan, right there. Boom.
Ryan, you want to go first?
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Well, so back to not really knowing anything about this movie.
Mm-hmm.
When I first realized what the premise was, I was like, oh, this is a cool premise. But then I was like, how long are they going to be able to make this, milk this like idea into a full feature length? And then, they have like a little bit of a twist midway through. But as far as her, like, and I kind of feel this way about the movie in general. If I'm going to complain about something, I feel like the movie doesn't give you, it puts you in a position where you don't really have anybody to root for. Because I didn't really like her. I didn't really like, I mean, I like Peter Dinklage, but he's also a bad guy. And, so you got the two sides that are warring against each other are both, they don't really have a lot of like gray area, so to speak. Like there's nothing really redeemable. The thing that I think that they should have done to help Marla have a little bit, like make her a little bit of like just sympathetic, would be to have her girlfriend not be aware of this business, so that there's a little bit of like especially when she, like the house when they break in, beat her up, and she finds her and stuff, like because she's in on like the whole thing. I didn't really care. Like I didn't feel bad for her because I was like, yeah, I mean, you're just as bad. So if she was a little more innocent, I felt like that would have given a little bit more, like a little more merit to her as far as someone that we could root for, in my opinion. And especially when you get to the end and how, like, I guess they have that kind of, the chickens come home to roost kind of thing with Marla. So, but yeah.
See, for me, I was, and I get that. For me, I was, like, I got that from Peter Dinklage and his mother, the relationship that they had. Because I was on his side pretty much the entire time after being introduced to, what's her name at the beginning, Marla. Like, we started watching this movie, and Katie was kind of like in and out of the room. And
oh, she didn't watch this with you?
No, she ended up watching it with me. At the very beginning, she was kind of in and out, and it got to the scene where they found the Peter Dinklage's mom. They called a Cherry, who's basically and that whole scene where she shows up at her house and just like this old lady's like, what is happening? I was like, my gosh, this is a terrible person. And I called Katie back in and I rewound. I was like, you gotta watch this.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, but when it's revealed that she's also like ex-mafia or whatever she is, she's like, a crime lord herself, then it loses that. To me, it just lost that, oh, well, you're bad too. So.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that. I don't think there was any way of getting around that these people were bad people, everybody. I was just saying, like, if I was looking for, like, a heartstring in this movie, that's where I would get it, is the fact that he was just trying to, like, this hardcore mobster was just trying to save his mom.
Would you paint Peter Dinklage maybe as an anti-hero?
I mean, if there's somebody to root for, I think it is him. But I feel like the movie wants you to root for Rosamund Pike.
Yeah, that wasn't happening. I was like, I hope.
That's how I was.
Okay, hang on.
Like,
hang on. Chance. Big spoilers again. I'm just going to go ahead and say this. Okay, spoilers. Just stop watching. Okay, now that they're gone, we can talk. I wanted her to die so bad. I was like, if she doesn't die by the end of this movie, I'm done. Like, I am done. I was like, all right, that was going to be the nail in the coffin for Netflix that night. Like, I was done. Like,
this movie was going to make Al so mad that he was beyond the mad that he likes to be.
Yeah. It wasn't going to be healthy anger. It was going to be disruptive anger. So anyway, I agree. I mean, this woman is despicable, and it doesn't matter that she's a woman or whatever. It just matters the character is despicable, and Peter Dinklage is one of those people. He has the most aggressively disgusted facial expressions.
Man,
Like
that's one thing that I wrote is like his facial expressions in this movie, and they like really hone in. Like,
Yeah.
they have a lot of tight coverage of him and all his little like nuances that he does, and all that stuff.
His eyes. He does a lot with his eyes too.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm just gonna throw it out there. I didn't need to see him naked. I'm just gonna put it out there, out on the table. I don't see anybody naked, but I'm just saying, like, that was weird. But whenever he was doing the rings,
Yeah.
for a split second, I was like, is that CG? Or no? Okay, there's his feet. Okay, all right. So I didn't know if it was him, but I don't know. The guy just looks like he can really do any kind of role. He's so versatile. So he's really, really good. And his and this is gonna offend some people, but his size doesn't matter. His attitude is bigger than his stature, and he knows how to own a scene, and that's good acting. And so it means that, to me, it really doesn't matter what package the actor comes in, as long as they can act their tails off. And man, he can act his tail off. Have you guys ever seen the movie Station Agent?
Elf? Oh no, I haven't seen.
Station Agent. You ever seen that?
His best film was Elf.
What's his name? Bobby Bacavali.
Cannavale?
Cannavale, yeah, Bacavali.
Me and Brand are trying to talk about Elf Al. So
I'm talking about Station Agent. So yeah, I know what you're trying to talk about. Anyway, check out Station Agent. The Station
X-Men
Agent.
Days of Future Past?
No.
Oh.
No. Y'all are doing Cape Cast at a different time. So, but no, I really enjoy Peter Dinklage, and yes, being that he's in a suit and stuff in here, you do get flashbacks of Elf a little bit, because he's the businessman and whatnot, and he's like, so there was one part where I was like, oh, you're an angry elf. What's that?
I was just saying, he's got a great little beard going on in this movie.
Yeah, his beard, his goatee, whatever that was freaking stout. So
got a nice swoosh in there.
So, well, I tell you, when I figured out early on that, okay, she's like, I didn't know the synopsis. What I did know was Rosamund Pike. I knew her character, what she did in this movie. I didn't know anything about the Peter Dinklage or like that whole storyline. I didn't know anything about that. So early on, I was like, hang on, that lady, like when they first took that lady out of the house, I was like, she's got ties to the mob or something. This isn't going to go well. And I kind of felt that way, because if they didn't go that way, this movie would have been a complete and utter bore fest, in my opinion.
Sure.
But
yeah, well, that's kind of what I was getting at when I was like, how long can they milk this concept for an entire feature? Like, I was like, this is cool, but where's this going? Like,
Yeah.
So I'm glad that I didn't foresee that happening, but I'm glad they had something like that in addition.
Agreed.
yeah, well, so let's talk about the main storyline. They take the mom into Jennifer Peterson.
Dude, that whole thing where they shuffle her off,
Yeah.
like, with the threat of the authorities, and they take her to that facility, and just the whole like theatrical like
Mm-hmm.
and she's just like, like in her mind she's like, what, like
Yeah, I mean,
20 minutes ago I was in my house in the living room, like,
yeah, like when they start going through her house and selling everything.
What is she says at one point, she's like, "You're my guardian robber," or something.
The shot that did it for me at the end of that was where like they bring her into the two glass doors that close, and she like turns around to try to leave, and they just like herd her like back in. It's like lamb for the slaughter kind of thing. It's like, man,
Yeah.
it's like no human element to this at all.
Yeah. So Diane Weist, the actress, she's really good in a lot of stuff, but the movie I always remember her from is Parenthood with Steve Martin and Keanu Reeves, and she has a lot of good dramatic lines in that movie, and Joaquin Phoenix is in that movie, and he's like 12 or 13 in that movie, and he's like the quiet kid that has a lot of problems and whatnot, and she's his mom in that movie, and it's a really good breakdown of parents and whatnot. So I highly suggest that. But she she didn't look like she was feeble or anything like that. She didn't look like she needed any help. So I'm glad they didn't have like some little feeble older lady, because they could have totally cast that incorrectly. They could have put like a Betty White or something like that in there.
Yeah.
And tried to, like had like a funny vibe to it.
I thought she was really good, except for like a few of the confrontation moments where she had to get a little physical or run, or like some of those moments were like she was a little stiff in terms of like, just like, I don't know, way she fought back. Like one scene when they're like grabbing her and she's like, okay, or what, like she just like.
She's 72, Brandon.
No, I get it.
To
use a stunt double. Put a wig on them.
Stunt grandma.
Throw some bows. Come on.
Oh my gosh,
but
Brandon's.
No, like when she's running towards Peter's car.
Yeah.
Old Dinklage's car, and she's like running, and then they come and grab him. She's like, oh, okay. And she like turns around. And she's like, you got me. Rats.
Yeah, no, I can see that, but she's a 72-year-old woman, so I forgave that. All of that, where she's in the house, she's in the facility, they took her cell phone and all of that. So the reason that this struck a chord with me, like I said, my family, my grandmother and my mom owned assisted living homes, but they owned specialty assisted living homes to where it was very, very few people there, so they could keep an eye on everybody, and everybody wasn't a number. But these bigger places, and just to let everybody know that the government is behind a lot of this stuff that goes on, just to let you know. And they really press on the smaller businesses.
It's the government, man.
But they press on the smaller businesses until they try to squash them so that the bigger ones win out. And so all of that stuff that's going on in there, it might seem a little, oh, this is Hollywood. The guy that's selling out the information and the doctor that helped Rosamund Pike find this client, Jennifer Peterson, and everything. I have never seen any of that with my own two eyes, but I totally believe it after hearing some of the stories overall. So throughout my life. So it's crazy how much money really is involved in all of that. So if there's anybody out there that had a hard time believing any part of that, I'm here to tell you just from personal experience and seeing my family that a lot of that type of backdoor dealings really does happen, because
I believe it.
It's crazy.
There's a lot of wealth in that generation, so it doesn't surprise me that people try to take advantage of that.
Yeah, it's
indeed.
That was the thing that was, and kind of to your point out, you were talking about them casting somebody who wasn't necessarily like to the point where like they actually needed any kind of
right
assistance. Like I'm watching this thing, I'm like, these people can't possibly get any worse, and then they take them in there and they start drugging them to make them worse, and I'm just like, what?
Yeah. Yeah, they want you to feel like you need them and like you're too feeble to do what you really need to do, and so on and so forth. It's disgusting, and that's why
up your meds and stuff.
Yeah, and this stuff happens in all sorts of facilities out there. So I'm not going to leave it just to this, but it's disgusting, and we don't need to get off into that too much. But I did want to say that because it is almost unbelievable, some of the things that go on in this movie. It feels a little too Hollywood in some parts, but I actually do believe it. So let's get into Rosamund Pike and her girlfriend they're cashing in. They find the safety deposit box with the diamonds. So now she's wanting to keep them. The girlfriend is really not wanting to keep them.
No, she's wanting to relocate them now temporarily.
Conveniently. And she's very manipulative, and it really took me back to Gone Girl. Gone Girl with her.
Yeah.
Very, very similar characteristics.
She's got a knack for these types of characters, it seems.
Yeah. Rosamund?
That's just definitely aside from Gone Girl, this is my thing I most enjoyed her in that I've seen her in.
Yeah, she's a really good actress, but she really does play these parts very well. So I don't know who you're basing it on, Rosamund, but wow.
It's pretty natural.
Yeah. We need to talk about Rosamund. That's the name of this episode. So anyway, so they get the diamonds. They think they're getting away scot-free while all the henchmen and all that stuff, which I like the blonde henchman with the longer hair. He was the taxi driver guy. I thought he was a good little bit of comic relief. He was kind of like a stooge looking guy, but so we get in there, and then Peter Dinklage comes in and tries to rescue his mom, basically tries to bail her out, like break her out. And people get shot in the mix and it's like, no. And she comes in with the cops and stops everything. And that's when the heat really starts. That's when I felt like, okay, this is getting pretty tense between those two characters, the evil and evil, so to speak. So, did you guys expect the cops to be there to stop it, or did you think that Jennifer was going to get out and maybe get hurt, or how did you feel about that particular area of the movie? Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, so I don't think that. I guess while I was watching it, I didn't think she was going to. Like it just would have been too easy, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like when I was watching it, I don't think I was expecting her to sneak out. I feel like it would have been hard to go anywhere. I mean, I'm sure they could have figured something out, but like,
well, it could have been really corny and almost comedy-esque if she had
turns into like a revenge thriller.
Yeah, like Rambo: Last Blood. Yeah. So Brandon, how'd you feel about that area of the movie?
I mean, I don't know. I didn't expect her to get away. I figured that something was going to happen to where it was going to prevent that from happening.
I did not expect it to be her that actually ended the conflict physically.
Well, no, I didn't expect that, but I didn't know if she was going to get hurt, get knocked down by the orderlies or whatever, and maybe even die from hitting the pavement or something. Yeah, and then I thought, like, this could get bad. This could get sideways pretty quickly.
Sure.
So, did this movie lose you guys at all? Was there any part of this movie where you were just like, nah, I don't know about that?
As far as like something that was unbelievable?
Yeah, something that just took you out of the movie, or
her breaking the back window of the car when she was in the lake or whatever. Listen, I've had a toddler locked in a car before and have tried to use a hammer to bust a window, and it was impossible. So being able to kick a window out, I don't think so. I mean, I get maybe the integrity was compromised of the car when she crashed, but
maybe it's because you don't own a BMW, Brandon. Maybe BMW has breakaway.
You're so weak,
back
Brandon.
Yeah,
just kick the window out.
Yeah,
yeah, maybe
use those calves.
Maybe.
Come on, soy boy.
I guess I should have tried
that. Yeah, so, I'm sure that was scary. By the way, yeah. Did anything take you out of the movie though?
Well, one thing I'm going to add in addition to that, not necessarily that it took me out, but I was like, is that a real thing? Like her putting the tooth in milk and then putting it back in.
Yeah, that's a real thing.
Yeah, I'd never even heard of people doing that or.
Yeah, a bunch of years ago, I was doing a project and I cut my thumb off. And,
I remember you saying that.
And I had to put it in.
What?
Yeah, I had to put it in ice water. So it was just like the corner of the thumb, like all that right there. Like, I don't know. Anyway, so like right like that. So I walk into the hospital with a cup of ice water and my thumb wrapped up in napkins. And the lady's like, why do you have a cup of ice water? I was like, my thumb's in there. Aren't I supposed to do that? She goes, you can throw that away. It's not going to be any good. Because I cut it perfectly with a box cutter, by the way. I cut it off perfectly to where it didn't hit bone or anything. So it was like that part where it basically would... Gingers can regenerate. That's what I'm trying to get at. So, so that's what I'm alluding to here. We're very multifaceted. We might not have souls, but we have many phalanges.
The things revealed tonight on this show.
So facts. So anyway, no. So I'm sitting there in the I'll just tell you everything. This is a stupid story, by the way. I'm in there, and one thing about older women and redheaded men, they still treat us like we're 8 years old. So I'm sitting there at the nurse's desk, and she said, oh, do you need help with your form? I'm right-handed. It was my left hand. I was like, yeah, sure, why not? I didn't want to fill that thing out. And a guy walks in right behind me, and he had cut all of this, like way worse injury. She's like, here you go. Here's your form. Go over there and fill it out. So I was like, yeah. So I'm sitting behind the nurse's desk, like in a spinny chair, like, yeah. What's your name? Al,
Got a lollipop in your mouth.
Yeah. I'm like,
Swinging your legs.
I got to get well soon balloon. Yeah. I'm like, I keep lowering the seat. So anyway, I see this nurse, and I'm like, oh, that's a pretty nurse. I want to talk to that nurse. That'd be great to talk to her. She's a pretty lady. And so I thought, well, it was a small little emergency room. So I go back, and I'm there for like 3.5 hours. As a matter of fact, Ryan, you'll appreciate this. I saw the pregame, the entire game, the postgame, and then the news of an entire baseball game. Okay.
Nice.
So like, I was just waiting in there like, I've cut my thumb off, and the doctor comes in, and she just manhandles my thumb, and she sticks this long needle in there to numb it down. I'm like, well, that hurts, don't do that. Yeah. So then they clean it out and wrap it up, and now I've got this big bandage on there I got to keep on. So now I'm thinking, I want to talk to that nurse. So I asked one of the orderlies, this nurse, she looked like this, blah, blah, blah. Now, I don't know anybody like that. All right. So I had to ask somebody else. This nurse, da-da-da. And I'm like, I'm flying high on whatever they gave me to numb the pain. So then that nurse that filled out
I just met my wife.
Yeah. Well, I'm like, okay, she was very pretty, and she smiled at me and waved, and I was like, all right, cool. So I asked one more nurse, and they said, yeah. And then the guy that drove me, the guy I was working with drove me to the hospital, and he was looking around too. And he was like, yeah, dude, I think you're hallucinating. That nurse does not exist. Everybody was telling me. So I just like formulated this person that did not exist in my head and was totally hallucinating, high on whatever they gave me. And then that night I had an allergic reaction to Vicodin. So it was a great day. So anyway,
What a 24 hours.
First and last time I ever took Vicodin. Anyway, so I was on Vicodin and Benadryl at the same time. So I slept for 4 days. Anyway, sorry for the aside.
The moral of the story is you can preserve it.
Show.
Sorry, I talked over that.
No, you're good. I just said Al could have his own show telling his doctor stories.
Oh, yeah.
It's always awkward.
This is true. Well, I was going to say the moral of the story is you can preserve a tooth in milk, but there's no need to do that with a thumb as far as preserving.
Well, the part that I cut off.
That's what they say.
The part that I cut off, they said, nah, you can throw that away. I was like, all right.
Trash can.
So I have it in a little vial around my neck. Like the Angelina Jolie and Billy Bob Thornton blood they used to carry around. So anyway, back to the movie at hand. Sorry, guys and gals. Yeah, you can do that with a tooth. Yeah, so Ryan, did anything take you out of this movie? I know that story just took everybody out of this review, but go ahead.
No, man, I really don't have a lot to gripe about on this movie. I would rank it right there behind Promising Young Woman for me.
Oh, okay.
I really enjoyed this movie.
Okay.
So I don't really. If I was gonna nitpick on something, it would have been what Brandon was talking about. Just a couple things with the older lady that were just kind of like, but kind of like you said, I can forgive a lot of it.
Yeah, the part that took me out of the movie was when she all of a sudden became Jason Bourne, and she was like, "I've got an idea," and then she's like, "All right, gonna get Peter Dinklage and all that stuff." Okay, first off, she saw him go into a parking garage. She didn't know the structure of that parking garage, but she automatically knew exactly where to go to find the car on the exact same floor. She knew exactly what door to go out to get to there, like within 2 seconds. She had a wig. She had a wig that was a really nice wig, like that helped her in her ski. So it's like it was just too convenient, that part of the movie, and that's what took me out. I was like, oh, come on. I was like, if she went, like, that's when I was like, if she doesn't die by the end of this movie's done. Like, What's
funny is my two favorite movies of the year. That's what I've thought halfway through. I swear, if these people aren't dead by the end of the movie,
I'm canceling Netflix.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Promising Young Woman wasn't even on Netflix. I don't care. Cancel it.
Yeah, I'm canceling Netflix. Everything is Netflix's fault. No, I was glad that the way I was really excited the way the movie ended, with Macon Blair being the hero. That even made me happier.
That was a good payoff.
It was a really good payoff, and that's why they got such a good actor to do that. I'm just saying.
It was well done.
But no,
what do you guys think about the score? I thought the score was really good. This movie, especially the score, reminded me a lot of like Safdie Brothers, more in line with Uncut Gems than like Good Time. Good Time's score was like nauseating to me, but
that's the movie that I thought of when I was listening to his Uncut Gems.
Yeah, it had a very like Reznor, Atticus Ross feel to it.
Yeah.
And that could be combined with also having Rosamund Pike in it, and they did Gone Girl, and so there's that connection. But it definitely had that like floaty, like ethereal type feel to it.
Yeah, those type of scores have really become popular since I would really say that all started with the what was the Facebook movie, The Social
Network.
Yeah, I think Trent Reznor and Atticus Finch really tied into something there. I mean, even
Atticus Finch or Atticus Ross.
I think Atticus Ross. Finch. It's like talking about that.
Finch is To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I'm from Alabama, so we really high on that book.
Great.
No, Atticus Ross.
Atticus Ross.
Atticus Ross. I'm still thinking about that nurse. So anyway, I wish you existed. So anyway, no, I think that they've even influenced the big hitters, and a lot of people have really, a lot of people that do score and whatnot, they've really gone that route. And I'm not saying that everybody's aping them. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that kind of changed the game a little bit and showed a new way to look at scores, in my opinion.
Sure.
Indeed. Mm-hmm. It's a good score. I enjoyed it.
We all agree on something. All right.
It's kind of weird.
I looked up the guy that did it. I can't remember his name, but I hadn't seen anything that he'd done.
Mark Canham?
Canham?
That's his name. Canham. Well,
Canned ham.
Yeah. So she did all of her Jason Bourne stuff. She had this great plan where she had blueprints of every building and everything. And I didn't like how Peter Dinklage was like, oh, okay, you got me. We need to join forces.
I actually did enjoy that.
You did enjoy that or didn't?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know, being and you're a Sopranos fan, so being a Sopranos fan, I just don't foresee mobster, gangster, whatever you guys want to be called. I don't know.
We welcome all mobsters and gangsters on CiNEMACHiNE.
We want no trouble. You tell us what we call you. Anyway, I just don't foresee them backing down like that. I foresee them being a lot stronger. And
I kind of had that feeling as well.
And it just kind of felt like, okay, the politics of the movie are here. This has to happen just to happen. So I just let it go. And okay, and I was still kind of like, oh my God, if she doesn't die. And
so I'll geek out on you here.
Okay.
But this is one of the... as has been documented on this show, I've recently read a lot of Star Wars books. And there is a character in the new books, and he's in the... It sounds like he's going to be on Disney Plus shows, but General Thrawn, he's a very interesting character to me because he's a bad guy, but he doesn't waste resources. And if he sees like potential in somebody, like even if it's a villain to him or whoever, like he finds a way to use that resource instead of eliminating it. And that's just kind of the vibe I got from the end of this, I guess.
Did you guys think that the movie was gonna end whenever it's like revealed that like she's his guardian or whatever, and that was how it's gonna end?
For a split second, I was like, "Oh, come on!" You know, like
I mean, there were several times in this movie where like I would be like, "Oh my gosh, it's just like Promising Young Woman," where I was like, they did that little montage in the shop where like, "Oh my gosh, this is gonna be a happily ever after story." Real artistic, guys.
Yeah. Oh God, no wonder Al likes this.
Yeah, for a split second, for sure.
Well, I did think that they were ending the movie a couple times too, maybe 2 or 3. There's not been a movie since that movie AI. That movie should have ended like 7 times, but I really thought it went, and I was feeling that emotion of, oh, come on, like, don't do this. Don't ruin this movie with stupidity. And because I was really enjoying it up until she started with her hijinks. Also, the girlfriend was on the floor with her head busted wide open, and she was like, yeah, go to sleep. Don't worry about that concussion you probably have. You know, you're not supposed to go to sleep if you have a concussion.
Look, Al, I'm not a medical professional, all right? I know you spend a lot of time in hospitals with nurses, but...
Well, I make up nurses anyway, so...
Melissa did say that it was pretty convenient that the apartment exploded like right as they got out.
Yeah. It's like... Yeah, she's like, I busted out of a car, went to a gas station, got a cab, came over here, got some milk, put my tooth in there, still drank the milk. Don't mind you. Like, I drank half a bottle of milk. And they luckily, in this gas station in the middle of nowhere, had sweatpants and a sweatshirt. It was really convenient. So, but anyway, there were a few conveniences. A lot of movies do the convenient thing, so I can forgive things like that, but not she has a concussion and she's automatically knows where he is in the parking garage. It was kind of sloppy, and it just kind of felt like it was probably written a different way, and then they probably only had a certain set or something, so that's understandable. But at the same time, it was sloppy. So then she's now... You know what she reminded me of, Brandon? Was that documentary about the woman on HBO? She was kind of like a narcissistic. The
Theranos.
Yeah,
thing?
Yeah. She kind of reminded me of her, just thinking, I'm going to get away with everything. You know, I'm just going to own the world, and to a greater degree, anyway. And so they're living large, everything's happening, everything's going forth, and you think, oh, gosh, she got away with it. And all of a sudden, Mr. Macon Blair comes out of nowhere. Feldstrom. What a name, Feldstrom. And his mom has now died in a facility where she wouldn't allow him to see her because she was playing her little game and running her little scam. And now he's like, she died alone, and he's upset and everything. He's gone to court. He's done everything he can. By the way, that judge has to be one of the dumbest judges of character ever. He's like, oh yeah, this is great. So many people are mad at you, but this is great. And a little aside, I really liked the lawyer, the guy.
Chris Messina.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was good.
Victor
I
Zsasz.
really. What was it? What? Is he a comic book guy?
You don't want to know.
Don't
comic
worry
book
about it now.
guy.
Yeah.
Something.
He was really good in this.
Yeah, I thought he was funny. His ties were even pretentious and everything. Like it was.
Dude, he had the look, man.
Yeah,
he had the look of that slime
had
ball
that
guy.
that eating grin, if you know what I mean. So anyway, I really enjoyed him, but we get to the end. She's going out. She's like, they're about to ride off into the sunset and enjoy their day. She's got this bright white power suit on and everything, and skaplow right there in the heart. She gets a big old bullet, and that
Big old bullet.
that suit turns red very quickly, and the girlfriend's sitting there having to watch her die and be in misery.
I was like, this is the best movie ever.
This
Making
is great.
Balls killed the woman I wanted to die.
Good payoff. All right.
Okay,
I
kill
like it.
her.
I agree.
Yeah, I thought that was great. I love the juxtaposition of, the broadcast of her on that show simultaneously over, kind of playing over, and it kind of like continually zooms in. You can see all the scan lines on the video, and then it, that was cool.
But what I thought was funny is that she was on like local TV. It was like she's like this big, wonderful star and everything, and she's like on like.
I just like it.
Mom
They
and
were
Pop
talking
News
about
channel.
like the what's next kind of thing, and
Yeah.
it's just very much like I'm gonna take over the world kind of mentality. She walks outside. Bang.
Yeah. So, but yeah, she died, and
She's dead.
that's the end of the movie.
The end.
And I audibly said yes. Like I was like, yeah, got it. If I were in a movie theater, I would not have been able to do that by myself at home. Fine.
You probably would have. You'd have been the only one in there.
Yeah, probably. Probably. But anyway, I really enjoyed the ending. The middle part, like I said, the third act, really took me out of the movie. But overall, I think this movie was worth the watch. I'm glad we watched it. I'm glad we're reviewing it now. And I'm glad that we didn't give you an option because we wouldn't have watched this. That's all I'm saying.
You don't know, Al. They may have picked it.
Oh,
There it goes. we got
lost
so
Albert.
close. Al's he's testing some new technology this evening. He's got a new camera. So he's experiencing the Ryan battery woes from the early days.
Yep. So it looks
tough,
like he's
isn't
got
it?
about an hour of battery life. That's what we've
Yeah.
determined.
Give or take 53 minutes and 26 seconds.
Yeah. But we were on here before.
So Brandon, you want to talk about?
Yeah, so he's back on. See his chair.
Watch it. Al's gonna edit this whole part out. Just so
And we're back.
delete. Yeah. So
We'll just wait on him.
Brandon,
It's fine. We'll wait. He's back. There he is. And we're back.
we're about to do the
And we're
the,
back.
buy, rent, sell, ship without you. You know, we
Just
talked a
going-
little. You were gone.
Oh
too,
my
so.
God. Just ruined the show. So anyway, yeah, so I'm glad we reviewed this.
End of show.
Yeah. All right, everybody. I guess we can do our usual Are you going to buy, sell, whatever? And yes, Brandon, they usually put these movies out on.
You keep
so you
saying
can
that,
buy.
but I'm still waiting on Stranger Things season 3. They don't put all these movies out on.
I didn't say
physical.
all. I said most.
Not even most.
And I have sent pictures in our text chain proving myself
so good this
time and
episode.
time again.
We're almost there.
No. All right. So, Brandon, buy, sell, skip. What would you do?
If they do put this out on physical media, I will buy it.
Good Lord. Okay.
I hope they do, because I would like to own it.
Okay. All right. Ryan, what would you do?
What do you think, Al?
Skip it and buy.
No,
Promising
you
Young
buy
Woman.
it.
It's one of his favorite
Buy it.
movies of the year. Number 2, one of 2 favorite movies of the year. Skip it.
That's
Very,
what I thought.
very selective.
I thought you would be contrarian like me. So,
Yeah.
I would say definitely. I would.
I would say definitely. I don't know.
Definitely, maybe.
I don't know.
This is like the end of The Bachelor where they're down to 2.
I don't know if this movie's getting a rose.
Take 30 seconds to make the last decision.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I would buy this movie because I'll say this. I would buy this movie if it had special features that had some behind the scenes stuff, talking to maybe even talking about the industry and how they came up with the story and so on and so forth. And maybe they can talk about how Rosamund Pike, like where she gets her influence for these characters, acting wise.
Yeah.
I would say
To tell you
I
how
would say
much
buy it. Yeah.
To tell you how much I enjoyed this movie, I was very bummed that I didn't get to watch it a second time before we reviewed it. So I'm already looking forward to rewatching it.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to when Promising Young Woman comes out in March, in a couple weeks. We're in March.
Hopefully they'll put out one with a better cover art.
Yeah.
Gosh, why would they do that?
Yeah. Not
So bad. Anyway,
so that's our review of
Nerds.
I Care a Lot. Physical media. It's the wave of the future.
You heard it from Alan. He's
hey,
never wrong.
it's gonna make a comeback. Vinyl Records did it.
Yeah.
Cassette
Yeah.
tapes.
Yeah, you hipsters watching Beta Max. Yeah, so, all right. Well, that's our review. Should we kind of tell everybody what we're doing again? Ryan, tell them where they can find us, and then we'll kind of tell everybody what we're doing next week differently.
We do love talking with you guys, and highly recommend that you drop down in the comments what you think about the review. If you liked I Care a Lot, you didn't like it, let us know. We want to chat with you. Also on Instagram at CiNEMACHiNE we'll have graphics up there where you can drop your thoughts in the comments. And yeah, we love yucking it up about this stuff. So hit us up.
Yuck it up.
So,
Subscribe. Hit the subscribe button.
yeah.
And next Thursday, we're
We need
going
more
live,
friends.
baby. Doing it live.
Yeah, we were going to go live this week, but then Brandon remembered, there's a thing called a calendar. And Brandon forgot he had something in that slot. So,
Yeah.
Um,
Sorry.
yeah.
Next week, 8
Don't
p.m.
apologize
Thursday
to
night.
us,
Be there.
Brandon. Apologize to them.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Them.
They wanted to see all of this bright whiteness live. So,
The camera really brings out the white Al. That's
yeah.
good.
Well, white balance, boy, they got to make a new camera for white balance for me. So. Auto white balance is angry.
This is Al at full warm color temp.
Yeah, this is.
He's like 500K right now.
I was a
that's
stand-in
too
for the
blue.
movie Powder.
He's like,
It's like 3,300
2,400
right now. Yep.
yeah. I need sunscreen under these lights. I'm just saying. So, everybody, we're gonna go live. You guys can comment live and everything starting next Thursday. So we're very excited about it. Again, we won't be doing that every single week. We're going to do it a lot. These guys go live, I think, every 5 minutes, but we are going to go live as much as we can. And then whenever we have a one-off review or something like that, we'll kind of do as we're doing now.
Kind of our weekly show, we're shifting into being more of a general movies talk, trailers, news, stuff we're watching, stuff we recommend, stuff we've heard recommended.
Yeah.
And we want to, the reason we are doing this because we've experimented a couple times on Capecast. It's awesome to have you guys in the comments, being able to pipe in and kind of give your thoughts on screen and stuff. So we want to incorporate
save all your Snyder related questions for the CiNEMACHiNE Live.
Yeah, I'll be glad to break all of your dreams. You can bring all your hate towards
Brandon,
me.
I think you should moderate the content or the comments, Brandon. I
got you.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna have a bunch of burner accounts so that I get burned. So anyway, now we're looking forward to it. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Of course, make sure you do tune in to Capecast and Criterion Corner whenever. I'm never going to go live with that. That's more of a recorded thing. It's kind of hard for me to go live with just one person. So it's going to be real boring. So anyway, thanks everybody for tuning in. Be sure you watch a ton of movies. Make sure you put down in the comments and everything what you've been watching. Let us know if we should be watching anything. And do please hit subscribe, share this video, and tell all your friends about us. So thank you so much. We'll see you next week on CiNEMACHiNE.
So long.